We're talking about the US. Let's get back to this because I want to get back to US President Donald Trump's military lifetime to Ukraine, agreeing to supply Patriot missiles and issuing a new ultimatum to Russia. And I want to show you an extraordinary exchange between Trump and Ukrainian journalist Myroslava Petsa in Europe. It happened just 2 weeks ago and has probably played a significant role in this decision. It astounded me at the time because it showed an unusual empathy and emotional connection from the much maligned president, and also because Trump promised to take up her cause. I'll talk to Kristen Tate in a second about this, but first have a look at this exchange in full.
Where are you from?
I'm from Ukraine.
Oh,
so my question to you is whether or not the US is ready to sell anti-air missile systems Patriot to Ukraine. We know that Russia has been pounding Ukraine really heavily right now.
Are you living yourself now in Ukraine?
My husband is there.
Wow.
And
I can see you're very, it's amazing.
And me with the kids, I'm in Warsaw actually, because he wanted me to be.
Is your husband a soldier? No?
He's
there now?
Yeah.
Wow. That's rough stuff, right? That's tough. And you're living here?
In Warsaw.
And you're a reporter?
I am.
Good. So let me just tell you, they do want to have the missiles, okay, as they call them, the Patriots. And we're going to see if we can make some available, They're very hard to get. We need them too. We were supplying them to Israel, and they're very effective, 100% effective. Hard to believe how effective. And they do want that more than any other thing, as you probably know. That's a very good question, and I wish you a lot of luck. I mean, I can see it's very upsetting to you. So say hello to your husband, okay? Thank you.
Yeah, a really empathetic response there from the president and a promise to follow up on it. I want to go to Kristen Tate now in the US. Kristen, that exchange is all the more extraordinary now because the president has followed up and he is delivering Patriot missiles to Ukraine through NATO.
Yes, and I just have to say about that exchange you just played, this is classic Trump. For anybody who's met Trump, I've met him a few times, anybody who's met him can tell you this is one of the most warm, surprisingly genuine people in politics today, which is, of course, a stark contrast with how the media loves to portray him as sort of this Nazi fascist. No, he's a very genuine person. I think that Trump is getting increasingly frustrated with Russia. He's given Putin 50 days to end the war. If he does not do so, he's going to start applying secondary tariffs to countries that trade with Russia. But yes, this was a great exchange. That shows who Trump really is as a human being.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. And he's followed up with hard action. Here's what the president had to say at the White House in his meeting with the NATO chief.
This is a very big deal we've made. This is billions of dollars worth of military equipment is going to be purchased from the United States, going to NATO, etc. And that's going to be quickly distributed to the battlefield. Ukraine will take it up.
Yeah, so that's Donald Trump there talking about the deal. America will supply the weapons, NATO will pay for them and pass them on to Ukraine. I might go straight to the second grab before I come back to you, Kristen, because this is where it also lays down the warning to Vladimir Putin and Russia. Have a look.
We are very unhappy, I am, with Russia, but we'll discuss that maybe a different day. But we're very, very unhappy with them, and we're going to be doing very severe tariffs if we don't have a deal in 50 days. Tariffs at about 100%. You'd call them secondary tariffs.
Yeah, so this is an extraordinary move in strategic terms, isn't it, Kristen? Because he's doubling down on supplying Ukraine with arms and he's talking up the pressure on Russia. All those people who support Ukraine will be heartened by this.
Of course, and these secondary tariffs it's a great strategy. This, again, applies to countries that do trade with Russia. Now, Russia, that's essentially a big gas station. Oil and gas, that's what most of these other countries in the West buys from them. And it's just a commodity. And these other nations, places like India, they don't want trade sanctions from America. So these countries like India will increasingly seek out these gas and oil commodities from other countries, maybe even the United States. And make no mistake about it, Russia does want to end this war as well. But Putin is a very stubborn leader and will probably want to make it look like he's ending the war on his own terms. So who knows, some concessions will probably be made to Russia. But I do think this is a move in the right direction and very America first, especially with that the NATO stuff you just mentioned as well.
Yeah, no, it's a good bit of foreign policy, and let's hope it works. And certainly Ukraine will be much relieved and heartened by this. I want to go back to domestic politics in the US, though, and look at the former president and the Democrats, because this stuff is amazing. Those viewers who thought you and I have been too harsh on Joe Biden over the years, not really knowing what he's been doing, well, all this has been confirmed. He doesn't even know the names of the people he pardoned, because some of them were pardoned using an automatic signature machine.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, when you vote for someone to be president in the country I'm in, the United States of America, you think that person will be the one who's kind of in charge, making the decisions. And for years, conservatives and, you and I, we've been saying that Joe Biden was probably not fully in control while he was president. Well, now we have partial confirmation of that. Biden did not approve of many of these pardons and warrants. Instead, he just kind of gave general terms of what the warrants and pardons should be. And then his team, they just kind of changed the names on this list and signed off in Joe Biden's name using an Autopen. And these warrants commuted the sentences of thousands of inmates. That includes 5 child killers, several mass murderers on death row. And then, of course, he issued full pardons for his family members. But it makes you wonder, Chris, what else was his staff in charge of that Joe Biden was not actually controlling? Yeah. And it begs the question that we've been asking: who was in control of this country for 4 years?
Well, we now know it was whoever had the autograph machine apparently was in control. Yeah. He did know the names of all those family members that he pardoned preemptively, of course, yes, at the last minute. Let's have a look at what the current president has to say about all this.
The Autopen, I think, is maybe one of the biggest scandals that we've had in 50 to 100 years. This is a tremendous scandal. I guarantee he knew nothing about what he was signing. I guarantee it.
Yeah, I guess we don't have to wonder about the Autopen with Donald Trump, because we see him signing all those executive orders in public at very public announcements. I want to get your reaction too, though, on these comments that have been reported from Barack Obama, sort of his commentary on how the Democrats have reacted in their post-election funk. Have a look.
He told donors this over the weekend, quote, "I think it's going to require a little bit less navel-gazing and a little less whining and being in fetal positions," Obama said, according to excerpts of his remarks exclusively obtained by CNN. And it's going to require Democrats to just toughen up.
Yeah, good advice from the former president.
Sort of. I think he's sort of missing the mark, though. The issue isn't that the Democrats aren't tough enough. It's that they've transformed their party into something so radical. Former blue dog Democrats and moderates just are completely alienated by it now. The Democrat Party of today stands for open borders, abortion on demand, defunding police, and child castration. And most normal people in this country, working people, they look at what the Democrats stand for today and they want nothing to do with it. They see no place for themselves in this party that has been hijacked by radicals. So yes, I guess Barack Obama is correct that they need to toughen up, but they also need to fundamentally transform what their party actually stands for if they want to start winning elections again.
Spot on, Kristen. It's like the Conservatives in Australia need to do a similar thing from opposition. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Chris.